Welcome to One Actual. I am Callie. Today we're going to be doing a FAM flight with a new pilot candidate. How are you doing, Wedge?
I'm doing great.
So, Wedge, I'm just curious, share a little bit about what brought you to our community.
I really enjoy flying in DCS, but was kind of looking for more, guess, not in depth would not be the quite word, but more missions that involve more than just kind of going up, hitting a static target, and returning to the boat.
Yeah, and I think everyone has their own sort of challenge in what they want to do and the time they have and what it means for DCS to be fun for them. But for me, I'm just like you. I want to have that real challenge. I like working with some of our SMEs, our JTACs and whatnot, and taking on things that put a context to dropping that bomb, not just plinking a target, which is a skill in itself, but it's not the hardest skill, right?
Yep.
So with that, we're going to do a little bit of a briefing here. This is our FAM flight. For anyone who doesn't know, and for our new candidate here, One Actual has actually 4 flying groups. So there's VFA-192, which flies the Hornets, which we're going to be doing today. We have VMA-214, the Black Sheep, bunch of Harrier pilots. They like doing close air support. Really nice to have those guys being able to take off out of a FARP or almost anywhere to support an area. So that's a good, helpful thing for us. We have the 124th Fighter Squadrons, some Vipers. These guys are really competent, helping us learn some air-to-air and different things that they've got some good skills in. And then we have our Red Eagles. This is a Red Air Squadron. They fly human-profiled Red Air. They'll have their own missions within our mission. So we will fly Red Dorito on Red Dorito, but oftentimes we will fly our own missions, and when they happen to intersect, then they do. So it's a bit more realistic. It isn't just going out and cranking and firing missiles. So it's an extra challenge, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So with that, DCS, in my opinion, really is a sandbox. And it's what you put in that sandbox that makes the difference. And to me, some of the AI, I wish they were improved and some other things, but having humans fill roles helps a lot. So we have some real-world JTACs we work with. We have some real-world air intercept control guys. We have other folks that are good at doing tower and marshal. So whether we're going to go to an airfield or on the boat, we'll have radio control. And then when we can, we'll have some type of command and control. If we've got to roll X a time, or if something's changing and we got to rearrange the package, someone's got to be able to do that. It could be somebody who's flying, it could be somebody who isn't. But we try to work it from different layers so that the sandbox feels realistic. One of the greatest things we have is we have some really dedicated and competent mission and campaign makers. They will take all of those toys and the skills we've learned practicing with our SMEs and put them into a very tight or difficult mission. This is just an example of one where we had a tight space we had to work in, and this created us to have to use some very specific skills and fly within very tight boundaries, so very restricted airspace. Now with that, we'll move on to the FAM flight. That's just a little bit about us. The intent is to get to know each other, determine some baselines for where training could start. There really isn't a pass or fail, but we are not necessarily the best for somebody who's new to the jet. We don't have the greatest training program for that, or enough people that I could just spend with that, but it doesn't mean we couldn't help. So we just do the flight to kind of feel where someone could start. Today's weather, it's going to be sunny and clear with unlimited visibility, and it's going to be light winds. The comm plan, all of our inner flight is on channel 1 on comm 2, and we would call that 1 on the right. So the right radio and then the radio number that's pre-programmed. And then if we had any control authorities, it'd be all on comm 1. It's TBD because I don't think we have a controller today. But if we did, I might tell you something like push 3 left, push 6 left, and that just means we're changing our comm authority to be with us. And if we had another flight with us, we'd be on MIDS 19. Any questions about comm plan?
Nope.
Pretty basic. We do have some pre-assigned channels for everything. That's where this comm plan comes from. Again, not really super needed for now. We're just going to be mostly on comm 1 on the right for us. The flight plan is we're going to take off out of Ryak. It's kind of a smaller base. You ever taken off out of this base?
I'm trying to remember where that is. It sounds familiar.
It's
Is that in Israel?
Uh, to be honest, I don't remember. It's kind of central of the Syria map. It might be in Israel.
Okay.
Yeah. But point being, we're going to take off. We're going to go on runway heading. We're just going to fly about 250 knots, about 10 degree climb. And then you'll form up with me. We're going to continue on down here, and then we'll turn into the range. The range has just got some targets pre-set up, and we'll do some talk-ons. You ever done any talk-ons at the targeting pod before?
Yep.
Okay. So the mission is really a range operation with some target talk-ons and some MGRS, which is using grid. The brevity we're going to use is contact. Just acknowledge the sighting of a specific reference point. So if I said the M for mission was what we're looking at, you'd say contact. If I said, slew right until you get to the dragon, then you'd say contact on the dragon. If I said that was your target, you would say capture. Capture's only used for targets, right? We don't talk about friendlies in terms of capture. We would just say that we have visual or we're blind. And then if you're looking, you just say looking. The settings in the jet. So we'll be running mode 3 as 1711. My laser code's going to be 1711. Yours will be 1712, and I should have put that on here. I updated the slide, but I forgot to put both. Our bingo will be at 4,000, and our divert is going to be remote. And to reference that, it's just TACAN 84. And the loadout's just 4 GBU-12s. We'll have an AT-FLIR and a centerline tank. And those are all, the weapons are already pre-done on this mission.
Got it.
So, just a quick review on formation flying. Have you done much formation flying in DCS?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we just want to make sure we're lining up this missile tip to that star and stripes that are up there. If you're in parade, you can put that over my head, so if I turn towards you, it's not going to be as dramatic. You have a little bit of room. But generally speaking, we put it right on there when we're just kind of in level flight. And then cruise is just a formation that gives you the wingtip to the nose, and then you can have freedom of movement left and right, somewhere between 100 and 1,000 feet. Okay. Any questions?
No, none so far.
Okay. So that's the end of the brief. We will jump into the server. We will grab the Ryak slot. So if you want to just grab the one underneath me. And then we can proceed with the flight. For anyone that's watching, you can ask questions. I will try to answer them, but the FAM flight is my priority. Radio check, one on the right.
Loud and clear. How me?
You're good. Just go ahead and mute yourself in Discord. And then because it's a hot jet, I always forget dumb things like turning my data link on and my RWR.
Yep, going ahead.
As hot start or as cold starts. I'm ready when you are.
Two's ready to go.
Okay, so we're going to go on and taxi, and we'll go up to the runway and we'll do a takeoff together. Somehow I still had my launch bar on. That's weird. Have you done a 10-second interval takeoff before?
Yes, I have.
We have no tower. It's our map. We own it, so we don't have to do any tower comms right now, but normally we would. I'm going to go ahead and pull up to the left side and then just get in position, and we'll do an interval takeoff.
Sounds good.
I remember when runway takeoff like this used to feel small. After being on the boat, it doesn't feel small anymore.
Nope. Alright, two set in position.
Alright, so we'll run them up to 80%. And when we're set, I'll say 1 rolling, and then 10 seconds later you go. So go ahead and run them up. 1 is set.
2 set.
1 rolling. And then just let me know when your wheel's up.
Two, wheels up.
And just come on up to parade on my right side. However close is comfortable for you.
2.
Alright, we're going to go to channel 6 on the left, and I would say that by flight push 6 left. Alright, we're going to speed up to Milpal, and then go ahead and get into cruise.
2.
And fence in.
Two fenced, 11.6.
And lead 11.7. I'm going to go ahead and level us off. And I'm going to speed us up to 0.71 for current range. And then select waypoint designate on waypoint number 6.
2.
We're going to make a left-hand turn and head towards the range. Now, one thing that I found as a DCSism, well, actually it was shown to me, is when you're first looking at an area that you waypoint designate with the targeting pod, if you sensor control in the direction of the pod to get that diamond in the right-hand corner, then you TDC depress, then you sensor control again in the direction to get into scene mode where you have the staple on the top and bottom. If you change modes after you slew, it won't slew you back to the waypoint, it'll keep you with where you're looking, because otherwise there's a weird bug in DCS. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
I wasn't, but good to know.
Yeah, it's just a little habit I got, because the worst thing is you get tucked onto a target, and then you change scenes or change modes for a reason, and now you're right back to where you originally got, and you're not where you need to be. As we turn in here, when we get to 20 miles, go ahead and descend to Angels 20, and you'll hold that. We're going to go into the overhead. We'll keep the waypoint 6, or the range, on our left shoulder about 6 to 8 miles out, hopefully keeping our sensors on the entire time.
2.
What controller do you use for DCS?
I have the Burple Warbird stick and the Windwing F-18 throttle, the smaller one.
I think I know which one that is. How do you like them?
I like it.
I fly with the Warthog, but I have the abomination of having a force sensing stick like you'd have in an F-16 as a mod. And I really like it, but it's not really true to the Hornet.
Yeah, the only thing I really would like is a, whatchamacallit, the ones where it changes when you trim. I'm forgetting the word. Force feedback.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, I'm set Angels 20 off your left.
Alright, I'm going to wait a few more miles. It's telling me my endurance speed is 0.54, so you don't need to stay with me, just stay in the overhead. We'll slow down to 0.54 and we'll talk onto some targets.
Got it.
Yeah, I got used to the force sensing before I really started getting back into the Hornet. And once I went there, I don't know, I just really enjoy it. I don't know that it's the greatest thing for helicopters, though. I'm trying to mess with those a little bit, and I gotta say, it's not, I don't know that that's the right thing to use.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've even heard taking springs out using dry clutches is best for helos.
Yeah, it could be. It's just, it might be too sensitive. There's a lot of adjustments I can have on it, so we'll see. Anyhow, I'm going to start to slow down. Just let me know when you're established in the overhead and ready for a talk on.
I might have talked over you there. Overhead, you just want me doing orbit directly above?
About 6 to 8 miles out, so we can keep our sensors on. Just a left-hand turn.
Got it.
And I set my autopilot, you know, to be alt, and I set auto throttle to my endurance so that I can be heads down. Use the tools that make my life easy.
Alright, choose establishing overhead.
Okay, do you have contact on waypoint 6?
Contact waypoint 6.
From waypoint 6, slew north until you get to a taxiway.
Contact.
Slew west on that taxiway until north of the taxiway you see a ramp with 6 vehicles in a 2x2x2 configuration, so front to back.
Booking. Mask. Alright, unmask.
Okay, so
Contact 6 vehicles on the ramp.
and which direction are they facing?
Looks like they're facing south.
Copy. The southeast most vehicle is your target.
Capture.
Copy. When you hit targets, we try to have some kinetic energy, right? So we can move the aircraft and launch the weapon. So we'll do about 350 knots. I want you to push out to the north, 8 miles. Come in from the north and just call your heading. So when you're in from a cardinal direction, you technically have a 45-degree arc. I set a course line. It's just what I do. The course line helps me do some other things as a flight lead and just kind of make some things simple. But just go out 8 miles, come in, call in with your heading. I'll give you clearance, and you can go ahead and splash that target.
2 copies.
Taking a peek to make sure they maintain their altitude. Having a course line set, I can look down here and I can see if he's coming in on the course line. He's got a wide window of 45 degrees, so it's not as critical. But in some critical missions, when you have a tight corridor or a tight
In 150.
cleared hot, it can become more of an issue. It just helps me see the picture in a real clear way.
Ten seconds. Paveway. Didn't have the fuse armed, was kind of hoping mid-flight that I might get the direct hit.
Okay, let's admin pretend that did explode. Fix your fusing, and then I want you to attack the Smirch directly north of that last target.
Merch directly north.
And let me know when you have capture.
Capture.
Okay, push out with the same restrictions out to the north 8 miles, call in with your heading.
2.
We'll blow up his target for him. So the next target we're going to do with a grid. We'll start with a 6-digit grid. Then we'll do an 8-digit grid, which is just a little bit, I wouldn't say it's tricky, it just requires a small bit of understanding about the difference between a 6 and a 10 when you enter them into the Hornet.
In 186.
Cleared hot.
Hey, boy. Check.
Copy. Go ahead and reestablish in the overhead. Looks like good effects on target, and let me know when you're ready for a grid.
Two ready to copy.
Grid is 37 Sierra Bravo Tango 422018, elevation 2358 feet.
Two request altitude again.
2358 feet.
37 Sierra Bravo Tango 422018 at 2358 feet.
Correction is 422081.
37 Sierra Bravo Tango 422081 at 2358 feet.
Readback's correct. You should be in the vicinity of 3 bombers. Have him describe what he's seeing, and that way we can orient and sort targets. There he goes. He's nice.
Two copies? Or two contact bombers.
Copy. Can you describe the orientation of those bombers and the scene in general?
Two of the bombers appear to be facing east towards the runway, with a third bomber in trail facing southwest.
That third bomber in trail is your target.
Two is captured.
Copy. Put us out with the same restrictions. Call in with heading.
Two.
So anyone who's watching, if you want to answer how you enter an 8-digit grid in the Hornet, I'll give you special bonus points.
In 164.
Cleared hot.
Hey boy. Jack.
Good hits. Go ahead and establish in the overhead and let me know when you're ready for grid.
Two ready, copy.
Grid's going to be 37 Sierra Bravo Tango 4105 0731, elevation 2381 feet. Your target should be a jet.
To say again, last 3 digits.
Last 3 digits are 731.
To actually need the full read back.
Copy, to be 37 Sierra, Bravo Tango, 4105, 0731, elevation 2381 feet.
37 Sierra, Bravo Tango, 41050731 at 2,381 feet, expecting a jet.
Readback's correct.
To contact Frogfoot.
And what direction is the Frogfoot facing?
Northwest.
Copy. That Frogfoot is your target.
Capture.
Copy. We're going to go ahead and push out to the same direction. I did not mean to underrun him. Doing too many things at once.
To 179.
Cleared hot, and if you look to your left or your right, I'm in with you.
To contact. Hey boy.
Lead sync. Yes, we are. Teamwork it is.
Jack Rockfoot.
I moved my charting pod. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and form up on me, and I will push this out and take us back to Vermont.
2.
And go ahead and fence out.
2 fenced out, 7.2.
Leads fenced out, 7.0. And we'll be in cruise. I'm going to be making some turns, basically doing a 180 descending. We're going to go into this valley down here and then back to Vermont.
2.
You done an overhead brake before?
Yep.
We'll do an overhead brake to the left. I'll put you on the right side and parade before we get there. And just to be clear, because there's been some people had different ways of doing it, when we do an overhead brake, we're going to be 0 throttle and then on the speed brake, pulling just about 1% of G in your turn and dirting up at 250.
2.
I'm going to slow us down a bit.
Do you happen to know Vermont David's field elevation?
I want to say we're supposed to be at like 4,500 barrow. I don't remember the actual field elevation. And then go ahead and close it up to parade, and I'm going to speed us up to 350. Then I'll just have you brake 5 seconds after me. Leads clear active.
Two clear, runway 22.
So we'll have you park, and then we'll jump into TAC view for a quick debrief.
Sounds good.
Alright, let's go ahead and jump out, and we'll meet you in Discord.
Just waiting for DCS to not crash on shutdown, but it was good. Then I also have some storms here, and I already lost power earlier today, so if I abruptly drop out, that's probably what happened. Rage quit the debrief.
If there's a time to rage quit, it's probably then. Like, god damn it, fuck my life.
Howdy.
Yo.
Hey.
Yeah, we're just bored and like, hey, what is Callie doing? Let me go watch.
So I definitely was shitty on altitude control, I can tell you that. The autopilot stopped working a couple times, and I got lazy about... I don't think I... Ooh. Sorry, I just had a flicker. I never got high, so I was good on deconfliction, but a couple times I got down to like 18,800, so kind of low. Yeah. Um, yep. I'm
It
very
all
well
comes
aware of
out.
the tapes will show. It's always
It all rings out on the back view.
and yeah, that yeah, no, I like that. Like kind of like the introduction to how you guys run the casts. The whole overhead pattern too is way smarter than any way I've ever done it. Where I've always had an IP like 10 miles away, and then every time it's trucking all the way back to the IP. I like the overhead way better. Mm, mhm. Yep. Hmm. Yep. Hmm. Hmm.
I'm very sorry to those who are watching. I accidentally muted myself. You can hear me now. I appreciate you letting me know. Thank you, Yules. So anyhow, how'd you change channels to 6 on the left? Again, no big issue there. And then put you out to cruise so you can have a little more time and space. Got you into being fenced in. You're the only person that I've ever seen on this flight actually choose to be on the inside. So I don't know that it's good or bad, but you're at least heads up to know that you could do that if you wanted, just to save fuel, cut the
Yeah.
circle,
I
whatever,
was about
right?
to say, previous experience with stuff like this, I've always been told if you're in cruise and there's a turn, always take the cut in for the extra efficiency.
Yeah, the one hard thing for that is if I'm at bingo profile, right? So I'm flying for max endurance to hold a circle,
Mm.
and you go inside, you might get too slow. So either I, as a flight lead, have to give you an extra percent, or you have to go to the outside. So
Yeah.
that might be the only time I know of, but either way, yeah. So I do the same. I'm always trying to nurse my fuel because I know if I get behind, I'm going to have to use more fuel, and I want to keep my fuel as close to flight leads as possible. So anyhow, I told you at 20 miles to descend, which you did, and let me know that you were established. The only thing is, I had said let's go in a left-hand turn. You kind of went off to the left and then got masked and came around, but no big deal. Um, we talked you onto that first target. I think that was pretty straightforward. Any questions on that? Any issues with that at all?
No, that was just the one. I was about 5 seconds from impact when I realized I didn't have the fuse, so I was kind of just hoping it would do the direct impact, but it looked like it missed slightly, so I didn't get the target dead from the direct impact.
It looks like it impacted pretty direct.
Interesting. Yeah,
But
I've hit
yes,
T-55s with unfused ones before and had them detonate. That's why I was like, oh, this might still work.
really?
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, um, everyone makes small errors in this flight. It's pretty common. The most common one is people forget to rearm their laser after the first bomb. That's the most common one that I see. I cheat because I have the wind wing panels, and when you turn the laser on, it forces the switch up, so it just stays up. Now, I have developed the habit to look, but it is kind of cheating.
That's actually probably a good idea, as I have a open switch that I was just thinking, like, I wonder what I can
You
use it
could
for.
prevent that from happening in the
Yeah, I'll make that my LTDR. That's a good idea.
DDR always on.
Yes. We don't ever turn the laser off around here. No. So then I just gave you a quick reattack on the vehicle south. And all I really want to see here is how comfortable are you moving the targeting pod in direction using the arrow, the north with the arrow pointing up as kind of a reference. And it seemed like you were comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was looking and seeing what you were up to. I don't know if you noticed, but I was always bombing the target next to yours, or I bombed your first target for you this time.
Yeah, I was seeing the good old smoke clouds or dirt getting kicked up.
Yeah, so I was just bombing the target next to yours. You come back in, and you shack this target, no problem, because you had the fuse on, everything was good. Put you into the overhead. Gave you the 6-digit grid. Seemed like you got on that grid pretty quick. I think you had me reconfirm some information, which is 1000% fine, because we always want to get good readbacks before we start blowing things up. So I thought that was good. You came out, called in. I gave you, those are statics, you can't see them. Gave you the rear bomber. Right before that, I had taken out the middle bomber. I don't know if you'd seen that or not.
Yep.
And then I put you back in the overhead. This is a little bit of a trick for people who don't know, but I gave you an 8-digit grid, which means I gave you 41050731. That means you have to enter in a 10-digit, which means you enter in 4105007310, which I'm assuming is what you did because you got right in the area fast.
I was about to say, I just chopped off the last two of each and made it a 6-digit.
You cheated and went the other way.
Yep.
Okay. And, as long as we get on the same target, that's fine. One thing I should have confirmed in this, and I know these are static so you can't see them, but there's several frogfoots there. So
yeah.
I cheated because I'm looking out and seeing your staple, right? And I know that you're looking at the right thing, but we should have discussed and said, hey, from the runway, from the west end of the runway, this is the westmost jet, because there was like 4 or 5 in a row. So probably should have had that correlation conversation. That's on me. But I saw that you had it. Certainly, as long as we get on the right place, that's fine. I would say if you're doing what's called a Type 2 bomb on coordinate, which is deep into close air support, where you're literally dropping on a coordinate, you got to enter in the exact grid, right? So, anyhow, I made a huge mistake here. I was doing something else. I underran you back here. Yeah, I biffed this. I underran you, and then I had to come back out to be safe. But I came in underneath just because, I wanted to be set up for an underrun in case I screwed it up. Couldn't quite get exactly to you because you made a hard turn. I was going to have you look to your right and see me, but I think I was close enough. And the whole point here was we're going to do what's called a simultaneous impact. I didn't want to tell you any of that or anything. I'm just going to set it up, me fly on your wing, let you do you, give you the least workload. But the way this worked out, we should release pretty close to each other. If I was, a little closer, it would have been on time. And then if we were taking out targets, we can see the impact times. So yours would have hit at like 4-0. Mine hits a second later. So have you ever heard of FRODIES before?
No.
Yeah, it's just an acronym. It stands for Formation, Roles, Ordnance, Ingress, Egress, timing, and sort. Gosh, I almost forgot. And all it is really what we're doing here. The formation is dictating the interval of the timing. We've already sorted the targets. I haven't told you this part because, again, I'm keeping your workload low. But we can use those things to set up an attack in case they want to take out two things at once, whether it's a JTAC or a bombing plan or a strike or something like that. So just taking teamwork to another level without making you have any more workload, just because it's something we like to do. Before we leave the AO and go into the landing, any questions about what we did?
Nope. No, I was pretty good on all that in terms of understanding.
Yeah, so I just, we like to get through this. It's pretty basic in a lot of ways. We are using a lot of the same things we would in close air support. We were blocked out, so we had vertical separation. Sent you out and in on a general heading just because we're going to get a heading. Bombs fall short. We don't want to drop bombs over troops, right? We're going to come in a specific way that, they understand is going to be reducing the probability of blue on blue, or if there's an error, and making sure, that we have a clean route to the target from our entry point. So again, that's part of that teamwork. It also helps to egress when we're already formed up. So this kind of speeds things up a little bit. Couple of factors there. I don't know why that's on the boat, but let's fix that really quick. Seems like you're pretty comfortable in formation.
Yeah, it's one of the things I enjoy.
Okay. I mean, I like to fly form, when it's called for in an admin sense, pretty tight. I try to fly pretty smooth. I actually put on the barometric altitude hold and it started climbing, and I was like, fuck, so I stopped. But whatever. I was trying to fly in smooth for you. Hopefully the turns, everything was smooth, the descent coming into the airfield.
Yeah, and I mean, every time I always fly parade and wing, I'm always happy when it's a surprise when we're over the airfield.
Right, because if you're just paying attention to me, yeah, I've been there. So let's take a look at this from the overhead. So I think that looks cool.
I know my initial pull was a little hard, and then I
was going to say,
I think I extended a little downwind, a little far.
I was going to say, I think you were a little close from what it felt like when I looked on the SA page. I'm like, I think you probably pulled a little hard.
That, and I also, for other reasons, forgot that the gear speed on the Hornet is 250 and not 200, so I was waiting for 200 to drop the gear.
So you got it. Yeah, so I just try to do a nice even pull, and then 250. But I saw you were close. I could tell where you were. I didn't feel like it was really a problem. Maybe just a little bit tight. So I just
know interval's not set on downwind, but I made sure you were past my wing before I turned in.
Yeah. So I turned in tight just to make sure we were deconflicted. I always turn in tight anyways. Had a nice landing. Came back and parked. I think that every flight is an opportunity to learn something. So my first question is there anything I could have done for you to make this flight better or easier?
So I don't know if you guys are just doing it differently because how you guys do over land stuff, but I usually do everything like a carrier pattern. I noticed we were at like 900 to 1,000 on the downwind. I think it maybe if you want to throw into the knee boards, just because I was looking through them when we were coming through, if there was like a airfield diagram for where did we go, Vermont?
Ryak.
Or Ryak, to see just like to quick grab like field elevation or something.
You know what? I'm going to do that in the brief. I'm going to add that. It's a good point. So field, approach plate, and info. Yeah. Perfect. Anything else I could have done?
No, besides that, it was pretty much as briefed. Join up, you said 250 on a 10-degree climb, so I knew exactly how to kind of roll up into there, and from there, every instruction was pretty clear.
Yeah, we do enough complicated things around here. I feel like my job as a flight lead is to make your job easy and to let you know what we're going to do, let you know all the major things ahead of time, and just be someone that walks us from the step we are to the next step, right? So, good. Well, with that, it's very clear that you're comfortable in the Hornet. It's very clear that you have some time doing stuff like this. I would see no problem with you coming in and working with our real world JTACs or our AIC guys and being able to pick that up. I think it's really hard to do some of those, realistic procedures and learn the jet at the same time. It's kind of a big learning curve. I think they should be separated. But I would happily welcome you as a candidate if you've liked what you've seen here, which is going to be more of it, right? More teamwork, harder, and more complicated. So if that's interesting to you, then I'd happily welcome you and bring you on as a candidate.
Sounds good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate people watching this stream. This is the one actual sim community in DCS. And we do fam flights, we do live training missions, we do actual mission nights. We've got some other exciting things coming up in the near future. If you want to see more of the kind of teamwork and things we do, please subscribe, like, comment, ask questions, and join us next time. Thank you.